Welcome back to the channel, Hobby-Wan Kenobi here. Now it's time to begin work on the 1/48th scale Trumpeter F-100D Super Sabre. I chose this particular version of the F-100 because I plan to depict the aircraft flown by United States Air Force Colonel Raymond F. Tolliver. Tolliver was commander of the 20th Tactical Fighter Wing at RAF Lakenheath in 1959, and he flew what I am sure is the most well-known and most colorful version of the Hun, known as Triple Zilch. I love this scheme because of the old monogram kit from 1991. The monogram kit was considered skill level 3 out of 3 because it contained photo-etched pieces. As a kid, I would stare at the box art featuring the Triple Zilch aircraft and attempted to build it. Recently, I even picked up this monogram kit for the decals and possibly for spare parts, but mostly out of pure nostalgia. Though the mold for the monogram kit was made in the early 80s, this kit was the only F-100 available in 1/48 scale until the Trumpeter kit came out. Though the Trumpeter was a decidedly updated product with recessed panel lines, it has many aspects that make it a flawed kit. To tackle some of these shortcomings, I purchased the Ares resin detail set and scale aircraft conversions wheel struts, though I eventually opted to not use the latter. Well, let's begin. I started out by removing the walls for the nose wheel bay in preparation for the resin one. Next, I filled and sanded pin marks, then glued the intake halves with Tamiya extra thin cement. I started to scrape and sand away in preparation for the resin cockpit. I also started to clip away plastic from the walls and clean up the area for the main wheel bay. I spotted a line running along the corners of the bottom of the aircraft. The line was raised and appears to have been a molding defect. This was fairly easily sanded away. Next, I sprayed all resin parts with Tamiya gray primer and began to spend a great deal of time dry fitting the pieces together. Once everything seemed ready, I airbrushed the cockpit with a mixture of Tamiya paints, and I started to brush paint the control panels black. Going back and forth between brushing on the black, letting it dry, then going back, brushing the gray, allowed for me to get very tight edges on the controls. I then airbrushed all the parts with Mission Models Gloss. After comparing the gray with photos of the real aircraft, I felt the gray still needed a slight purplish tint to it. I decided to achieve this with the wash by adding the usual black, white, and small amount of burnt sienna, but I also added a little bit of red. I then removed most of the dried wash with Q-tips and a soft brush. This wash created a slightly purple filter over the gray, which matched my references more closely. The switches were picked out with white and light gray. Finally, I was able to attach the interior pieces and wheel wells. However, I would still need about another hour or so scraping away until I got everything to fit. At this moment, I would like to remind you to like this video if you are enjoying this content. And if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. Okay, back to the model. Now it was time to move on to the wings. There are several aileron actuators on the front edge of each wing. Trumpeter molded a long piece of plastic to protect them from being broken. In order to help further protect these points, I like to remove the pieces with clippers. However, I don't clip right up to the part. Instead, I clip the piece off with a lot of extra sprue. Once free, I can hold the piece more carefully and more easily clip right up to the part. Now it was time to remove the protective cover from the actuators. The wings were mated with Tamiya extra thin, and I was careful to squeeze the melted plastic into the seam near the actuators. Clothespins were used to keep the wings halves together. The flap at the end of the port side wing was missing a chunk of plastic. This was clearly due to short shot, and I filled it in with CA and sanded it down. Trumpeter kept the flaps as separate pieces so they could be dropped. I then decided to keep them raised and flush to the wing, but looking at the pieces in that position revealed that there were some large spaces that would need to be filled. However, the seams should not be removed altogether. This would then require a shim to fill the space. I first added CA glue, then pressed the flap onto a thin sheet of plastic. The excess was clipped away, and the space between the molded part and the plastic sheet was filled with more CA glue. The drying time was instant as I added CA accelerator called Zip Kicker. The excess was clipped away and the plastic was shaped with sanding sticks. I still added more shims in these areas until everything looked clean and true. I decided I didn't like the look of the actuators, so I clipped them to a thinner shape. I attached the leading edge ailerons to the thinned actuators. Once attached, I used thin plastic strips to create a sort of bridge that more correctly mimicked the look of the real actuators. Once ready, the wings were attached, leaving only a small seam that I filled with Vallejo putty. The excess of the putty was wiped away with moistened Q-tips. The Aries resin set provided a straight refueling probe that Triple Zilch had. However, the long resin pole was bent. Having dealt with resin before, I knew this piece would likely snap if I tried to bend it. Instead, I used a piece of brass tube that fit the ends perfectly. I decided to add some hinges to allow the interior pieces of the canopy to properly attach to the fuselage. I ended up adding detail to the bottom of this piece to more mimic the real part of the aircraft. And that does it for this video. In the next video, I will begin painting the model and may even get to the decals. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please do leave a like and a subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.